I don't know how much of it is applicable because I'm at a phase of life where I don't have material worries, you know? And I could have had a kind of stroke where my physical element would have been untouched, but my brain would have been damaged, which is another part. That would have been worse because I wouldn't have been able to write another book. And I have a very active mind. So for me, being able to write another book is my salvation. So when it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when I get down to writing, it's the happiest moment in my life. I feel at peace. I'm back to my work, and I love my work, and I love what I'm writing about. It's saved me a lot. I do meditation. I've been meditating now for about 12 years, I think, more than that. Every morning, it's a ritual. I have to meditate. If I don't, something is wrong. And I've never missed a day, I can honestly say. And it just calms me down. It just gives me a strength throughout the whole day. So I get up 7 o'clock. The sun's usually shining because it's Los Angeles. And I go, it's the morning. I'm greeting the morning. I'm greeting the sun. It's like I'm somebody 4,000 years ago in a tribe. There's the sun. It's a miracle that there's even something like that. The birds are chirping. I'm looking at the ivy. The sky is blue. I just calm myself down. Intrusive negative thoughts start popping into my mind. You didn't do this. You have a podcast today at 2 o'clock, Robert. You want to do this, that, and the other. I get rid of them. I go, calm down, put that away. Ground yourself in the moment. It's helped immeasurably. The other thing is, always keep in mind that there are people who have it worse than you. So I don't want to feel I don't like the sense of feeling sorry for myself. In fact, sometimes I turn it around and I look at that person walking the dog or jogging and I go, I actually feel sorry for you because you're not aware of how precarious life is. You're not aware of how this can be taken away from you. You're not aware of how precious it is to just be alive and just to see the sky and the birds. So I feel better than you in a way. I turn it around. I don't want to feel sorry for myself. The things there are people who have it worse. I read in the newspaper all the time, cancer, or you're in Ukraine, or I was dealing a lot with people in Iran right now, what they're dealing with. I don't have to deal with that kind of crap, like being in Iran and dealing with that daily life. How horrifying, These are thoughts that take you out of the moment where you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're kind of grateful for certain things. So those are some of the strategies I've had to kind of create for myself. First of all, I don't want to give the impression that I've solved everything because I'm a work in progress. I have moments where I get so frustrated, and it's almost like I have Tourette's syndrome. I'm going around, like I can't, I'm still 4 years in and my arm is still like this and I still can't brush my teeth the way I want. I get very frustrated. So I'm getting better, but it's still a work in progress. I don't want to give the impression that I've mastered it because it has mastered me. I have a long way to go, but I'm getting a lot better at it day to day. I don't know. I think I've kind of touched on everything only in the sense of.
What about connection? You talked about your wife.
Yes, she's helped me a lot. God bless her soul. She's had to take care of me. And I was somebody who was always prided myself for being independent. That was another thing that was taken away from me. I was traveling around the world, doing book tours, going to book festivals, doing interviews, doing consulting in various different countries. I could still travel, but it requires a lot more. So I lost my independence. I had to have somebody help me with food every single day. I need things being done for me. And I feel terrible that, she's been put in that position, but she's been very gracious about it. And she understands, she has a lot of empathy because she knows what I've lost. So having somebody in your life, if I were alone, I couldn't deal with it, man. I wouldn't have been able to deal with it. It just would have been too much for me. It would have been too depressing. That depression that stalks you after a year would have leveled me. It's just, I couldn't have made it. So that's an incredibly important aspect. And just appreciating the little things in life that I just, it's a cliche and I hate saying cliches, but, I have that feeling almost every day where I'm looking at somebody going, man, that must be, I'm like riding my bike and I'm seeing somebody just sitting in a park reading a book on a bench, and I'm going, God, that is so much fun just to be able to do that. I can't do that anymore, but I put myself in their body. The little things in life that you take for granted are so filled with so much happiness and joy that you're not thinking about. If that person sitting on a bench reading that book only realized what this person riding by thinks, maybe they wouldn't take it for granted. So many of those little things that you don't think about have incredible importance, at least to me, having lost them. So I don't know if I wish I had something better. There's so many things that are seem to be going awry in the world today. Now, I happen to be, the form of meditation I do is Zen meditation. And in Zen meditation, there's this idea of what's called the Tathagata, which means, it was another name for Buddha, and it means things as they are. And one thing you meditate is, the world isn't good or bad or ugly or evil or unjust. It just is. Things just are. This is just the way the world is. This is the karmic chain, the wheel of Dharma that's been going on for thousands of years. It just is. It's just the state of affairs. It's your discriminating your mind. It's your mind that creates all of these things. Let go of that, and you can connect to the way the world is without judging it, and it becomes this very beautiful place. And so a part of me wants to think of this is just the way things are. But a part of me goes, this isn't good the way things are, and I hope they're changed. So knowing human nature and knowing how human nature tends to twist things, how whenever we invent a new piece of technology, it could be the telephone, it could be the television, it could be the internet, it could be cryptocurrency, or it could be, AI. It tends to twist and darken and degrade and pervert anything that was once maybe beautiful or interesting. It makes me worried about the future. So there I turn pessimistic and I'm worried. But then I always think that there's hope with young people. And here I'm spouting another cliche. Damn, I'm going to shoot myself after this interview. But I feel like when I was young, I was angry about things. I didn't like the way the world was. It was Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher and yuppies and ugly values I didn't have, and I thought there was something wrong in the world. I was angry and I wanted to change it. Young people are still like that. And I think a lot of young people, Gen Z or whatever the next one is, whatever they call them, I don't know yet, they're growing up in a world that isn't healthy, that isn't right. And when you're young, you have all these energy, all this physicality, and you don't like it. You don't feel comfortable in it. And I know a lot of young people don't feel comfortable. And at some point, they're going to rebel. And they're going to say, I'm tired of all this virtuality. I want something real. I want real experiences. That spirit of rebellion that I see seeds of and signs of gives me hope. And I hope that it continues. Because I remember once I had a dream, probably the most memorable dream I ever had. It was maybe about 15 years ago or so. And I dreamt that I was there in the year 2072 or something like that. I was walking around the year 2072. It was the streets of New York. I was going, wow, everybody looks so happy. Humans finally figured out how to do well in this world. They figured out what matters. There's hope in this world. That was my moment in that dream. This has always sort of stuck with me. Maybe that will happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm not Nostradamus. But so I struggle with that. I struggle with, part of me is pessimistic and part of me seeks seeds of hope, particularly in young people. And I really, really, really wish they figure it out, because my generation, generations before, we've kind of screwed this world over. Things aren't good right now. And I'm hoping that spirit of rebellion, that young energy, will kind of come and kick the apple cart and say, screw all this, we want a different world.